Welcome back to Atlanta, Georgia here for game number 1. Actually, it's a one-game match between David Fink and Marcos Chavez here. 5th place playoff, semifinals. It's an interesting matchup between the two, as Marcos Chavez defeating Dave Fink the last time they played. And that was in May, as we welcome in Martin Mulkerns here. This broadcast on ESPN3 and the Watch ESPN app, as we have the announcement from our referee for this one.
From Buena Park, California, Marcos Chavez. Returning serve from Tucson, Arizona, David Fink. We're playing 1 game to 25, halftime at 15, win by 2.
I know you're...
All right, gentlemen, good luck.
You've a lot of knowledge of the game,
play
Dave.
ball.
You've a lot seen. We're wondering now,
Our line judges
the
are
$1,000,000
Joe
question
and Sam
that you
Esser.
might be able to answer is the Cordova brothers are wondering over there, are they the first 2 brothers to make a pro semi-final, or maybe they have before, or would
Play
they be
ball.
the first to
0
make a
serve 0.
pro final?
They're wondering if they were wondering this, or are you wondering?
I'm wondering, but
Yeah,
I think they're somewhat
they've
wondering
made it.
as well.
They
Have
both
they
made
both
it,
been
yeah.
in the semi-final at the same time?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Side out.
I say
So
I
maybe
believe so. I would say that was Salt Lake City in 2017.
0 0.
I believe they both made the semis. It was...
And if we were to go a little bit further...
it was Luis Cordova. See, immediately we knew this was going to happen. And I just had this conversation with the referee about this. I said, get ready. There's going to be some hurtful things that might be said here. And he said, I'm willing. I'm ready for it.
0 0.
I said, Pete, I'm telling you, it's going to be really bad here.
Okay, so a bit of an outburst there. The game hasn't even started, you could say. It would have been funny if he called a wrist ball there.
Side out. 0 0.
That's going to be tough.
So if you were to call it from the outset here, who would
Point.
you have your money on?
Oh, man.
1 0.
I'm not in a position to call it. I think it's very important to both of these players, and it's because of the senior tour, where they're the #1 and #2 ranked players, meaning Dave Fink's #1 on the senior tour and Marcos is #2, but Marcos won the Players' Championship,
Side out.
so he's got sort of the momentum. So Dave's coming in here wanting to defeat Marcos, but then you saw how loose Marcos was before the match, and then everybody coming up to me saying, get ready for this, because Marcos is
0 1.
Marcos is going to pull this out. So according to the
Point.
crowd, it's Marcos, but you
Yeah.
can tell
1
Dave is
1.
not going to want to lose this one.
No, it sounds like from what you're saying, and he's
I called
appealing
the
the
serve
serve.
good. He's appealing
It sounds
the
like
serve.
what
I
you're
called it
saying,
good.
that neither player is going to want to lose.
Both agree.
It's a bit of a healthy
I
rivalry
think
here.
it's obvious that no player wants to, but there's certain ones that when you walk in there, after you lose game #1, you come out and you have a different mentality in game #2. This is sort of,
1
both of these guys have the same outlook.
You hear someone in the crowd shouting, "Come on, Marcos!" You see him
Side out.
looking back and smiling at Dave. I think there
1.
could be fireworks here before the
I
end.
really anticipate there's going
Short.
to be.
Short.
He's not going to like that
I
call
called
either.
the serve short. Both agree. Second serve.
Everything's going against Fink here.
He's probably going to let them know that in a minute as well.
Oh, I like that shot.
Side out.
There's an overhit and a little patty cake between the two there. Friendly.
So would
1
Marcos
1.
and Dave, would they have grown up at, say, junior level or anything like that? Would they
Yeah,
have been playing each other a
kind
similar
of.
age? Or
Not really. It was
Point.
Marcos's brother Carlos that played Dave, I would say, more. They didn't really play each other a lot, but they knew all about each other.
2 1. Short. I called the serve short.
it
sounds
was.
Both agree. Second serve.
Fink is now appealing everything.
Was that Dave who appealed
Yeah.
that? Or?
Oh, I'm not sure, but Nothing's been overturned.
2-1.
You might have line judges who are too afraid to disagree.
That's a good point.
Three, 1. Side out. One, 3. Side out. Three, 1. Side out.
How do you like that serve, Dave? The kind of underhand from Marcos, the little lob. It seems it worked well against in the early stages against Killian earlier.
Yeah, what you're looking for is an overhit.
Second serve.
I remember
return to pop to the ceiling, and that's usually the return of that shot. And if you overhit it with this fast ball and these fast courts, I think it's a really smart serve.
Yeah, the return really has to be perfect, or it's going to be a setup.
Yeah. 3, 1.
Marcos pulls that out when he's playing on the concrete courts or where the ball's fast.
And I suppose unless you're playing Sean, most players are probably going to go with a roof or around the walls or something.
You can't do it against Sean. He's the only, really, you can't.
Replay.
What Sean does is he walks right up to the line and he does that little quick hop off the ground. And then you say to yourself, I'm never doing that again. Marcos said, I can't. He said the first time he ever tried it against Sean, he hit a flat rollout by just walking in and cutting the ball off.
Point.
He said he tried it one more time, and Sean hit a pass shot that was about 4 inches high at 100 miles an hour, and he said, I'm never going to do that again.
I saw Killian stepping in earlier to fly one. But other than that, I think most of them came back, and he got the return that he wanted.
I like that serve from him.
Well, he's mixing it up here. He's hitting some lobs, some power serve.
6-1.
6-1 lead. And there's an ace.
Point.
7-1.
7-1.
7-1.
Marcos going left, right, 3 walls, lobs. A lot of variation.
I'm calling side out. Just hit him if you have to, Marcos. Sorry, man.
Not quite sure what happened there.
Marcos held up because he didn't want to hit Dave with the ball.
The referee says just hit him.
It isn't avoidable.
I'm calling it replay, not avoidable.
Marcos reached back to hit that shot, and it makes contact with Dave.
Could Dave, by virtue of the word, like avoidable, could he have avoided it?
Here it is here. Well, watch what Marcos does here.
I don't, but what are we expecting Dave to do? A backflip and a jump up the side wall?
No, this is part of the gamesmanship that Marcos has. See, he's trying to get into Dave's head. This is part of the thing. He doesn't. Marcos tried to create that shot by making contact.
I don't know
this
that
is all
he had enough time after.
Well, I agree with the ref. I know Marcos might be just trying to slow it down here. And
this is all Marcos trying to get into the players here.
It's a part of the drill.
It is. It completely is, 100%.
1-7.
This is why I said you're going to see fireworks. These guys might not even talk to each other, but they're going to be talking to the referee, sending messages to each other.
Okay.
He's the middleman in their little feud that they have with each other.
Side out.
This is a typical Marcos Chavez match.
7-1.
Now he's back in there serving. He's very hard to play, Marcos
I remember Marcos playing Dave in that tournament when I was in Texas that time. We had the tournament in Tucson. I think I lost to Luis like 15, 13
that's
close games. But I think Marcos playing Dave and Mondo is upstairs and he's just like, I'm feeling it, Mondo, I'm feeling it. I'm like, I think if he was here today, he'd be saying that and laughing. And he does have quite the sense of humor.
Yeah, no, it's
1-7.
If he sees somebody in the crowd that he's a friend with, or you know, if I'm sitting in the crowd and I'm a row back, he's going to walk back and look at me every single time and just like wink. You know, he's got this. It's crazy. I
think both players are playing pretty tight here. They're not given much space.
Point.
Now Marco's smiling there as Dave is starting to score points. Dave's not saying one word, by the way.
Side out.
You say this is a friendly rivalry, but I'm
7-2.
I think
debate is out whether they're friends or not.
Point.
Good shot.
I mean, I told Dave earlier when you were out of the booth that I basically had dinner with Marcos last night as we watched the Dodger game, and Dave wasn't happy about that. like that's my enemy, and you're out there.
9-2.
Great serve. Marcos has probably hit 4 or 5 different serves since the start of this game. Left, right, 3 walls. Dave hasn't seemed to locate that serve. I didn't feel either against Luis earlier that he had found that great serve that I saw yesterday down the left. It was just flowing yesterday. It was going in, wasn't making the back wall. He's able to do it. It's amazing that kind of how it can change game to game, that kind of rhythm.
And sometimes it's just a mechanical thing. Other times you're not comfortable with the ball or the wall or.
Side out.
It's weird. You'll see it's like guys like Sean right now seem to be locked in. And from one game and one day to the next, he seems to be really sharp. But then you could find other guys that just lose it from you know, moments from even a first game to the second game. They've lost it. Now they have to try to find it again. Dave
10-3
has suffered these back spasms that it really affected him 2 years ago. But he's having them this week for the first time. And he hasn't had them in a long time, but he's having them again. So I think something like that where you feel good in the first game and you're rolling in those earlier matches, and then all of a sudden you start to get those spasms. You're starting to lift up just a little bit in the server's box.
11,
and then when you lift, your ball does too. Unless you're Sean Lenning, of course. Then lifting is making his ball go lower. But
good shot.
Point.
That is a good shot. Now 12-3 here.
12.
Dave, very similar to Vic nearly in the last game, just has got no chance to get going here. Marcos is, as he would have said before, on fire.
Yeah.
Side out.
There's another highlight reel shot there from Fink.
3-12.
What are you seeing traditionally in the games of 25? Is does the person who's winning at halftime generally win the game, or?
Yeah.
4-12.
But I think you don't see Fink phased here. I think he's sort of like a Killian Carroll at this moment, where the score doesn't matter because I know I'm going to score my points eventually.
Well,
sort of attitude.
He was like that in the Cordova game. He started slow. And turned around and played very well in the second game.
4.
Right.
Good get.
Side out.
Towel.
Four, 12.
Wow, that's an incredible shot from Marcos, backed up by Fink, and even Marcos appreciates this. Watch this shot here. Marcos does that overhand flop, but to the right side, which you never see anybody do, and Dave dives in and gets that ball back, and then they go up to each other, and there's a little slap right there. Appreciates that.
It's good to see that. Good to see that.
Well, you
play hard.
You appreciate a good shot, even if it's from your biggest rival. That rival for Marcos used to be Nadi Alvarado. Then he retired.
12. Short.
Dave Fink now has it. Transferred over to the next best player in that division, which is now Dave Fink.
Second serve.
I don't think I've ever seen Dave hit that serve. Have you?
Yeah, I have, but it's very rare. Very rare. See Marcos doing it again. And he forces a...
We saw that earlier as well. We commented that maybe going too far back on the roof.
12.
Yeah.
5.
Out of that fear that it's going to fly off the back wall.
Second serve.
Score here is 12-5. Dave has been scoring more points, though, as of late.
Well, it was 12-2, and he's brought it back to 12-5.
Side out.
With that great that great pick that he got to go back to bring him to 5. This is kind of a crucial point of the game for me. I think if he's at 7 or 8 here, he's well in it.
Well, one of the things that we've seen in it, and it's very odd. I don't know why this happens, but as a player approaches that 15th point, it's very hard for them to get to it. Yeah, they slow down, and sometimes they won't even, you have a big lead. They won't even get to the halftime to get that point. Their opponent will catch up and actually go there before them. So we've seen that many times.
Point.
Not just once or twice, and it's, an anomaly in that sense. It's happened handfuls of times where a player gets to about 12 and they stall.
12.
It's a mental thing. It completely is. Because you feel like, I've given
7,
it. All
12.
I have to do is,
Yeah, I'm going to get that point.
And he's gonna make some errors, and I'm going to get 2 more points here or 3 more points. We're going to go into half, and I've got this nice lead. But see, now Fink is.
The momentum's really changed here. The rally before that, there was a miss from Marcos, kind of a forced one. I saw that maybe 2 or 3 rallies ago as well. Shots he hadn't been doing earlier on in the game. And I'm sure Dave's feeling like he's well in this now. He's kind of weathered the storm.
Oh, yeah. He's only 4 behind. He scored 6 straight points. It's a pretty good ceiling shot there from Marcos, right?
Another chance. That's his bread and butter there.
You think you'd see a timeout from Marcos here?
I thought that earlier. I was actually upstairs
9,
looking
12.
down when he was playing Killian, and he was 8-2 up. And his shirt looked soaking. I was surprised that he...
Second serve.
I was surprised not to see him possibly taking things like that when he had that lead.
And I was commenting why it took so long for the first timeout to be called.
Point.
But, sometimes as a player, you're feeling it. See, right now, I would call it at least on that. I would have called it earlier, but I would have called it on that shot.
That was a fantastic
Dave started
shot.
making those mouse 38-foot kill shots. Just to break momentum, you'd want to take one.
Second serve.
Dave's very tough to play in the 25-point format. And it doesn't matter who you're playing.
Marcos is leaving balls up. I was sure that was going to be, I think we had it circled there, number 11, but
12,
split.
10.
Oh, that's so nice.
Fantastic shot.
Side out.
Marcos almost got his mittens on it. Look at this replay. Not only did the ball almost go into
10,
the hand of Marcos
12.
here, it almost hits Dave Fink. Look,
Short.
Dave thinks he's safe, and then he realized, wait. Though Marcos did get a hand on it.
Yes.
But
in Ireland, though, if that was
Ireland,
well, if Marcos touched it and went backwards, you'd probably get the replay.
Side out.
Well, who's reffing? Sean Devine?
Well, no, that's just actually the rule. It wouldn't matter who's reffing.
12, 10.
You could hit it backwards, and it's still a replay.
That's unbelievable.
Although for the Irish nationals and everything else, we play international rules. It's only for the championship that we maintain that
10,
one. So I don't
12.
know how that hasn't been changed yet, but I think it
needs to be changed.
I think it will be.
11, 12. Screen.
I think it was.
Well, I mean,
one screen.
Emmett doesn't think it is.
Well, that's because you're sitting here.
Second
That's true.
serve.
You know, you can see the full court.
Yeah, that's right. I get to see it from that almost dead center here.
Yeah, he seemed to be bothered that he couldn't. He was saying that they were.
Now it's tied at 12.
He was saying that they were screens,
12,
and
didn't think
that
they
the
were.
referee wasn't picking them up because he was looking at it from the top left, and that the referee could see it from there.
Right.
But you can't see it from my position, is what his argument that I heard was. So.
Yeah. But on the replay, because we're seeing it dead center, it didn't seem like there were screens. But I've been in that position before, and, you know, you're blocked. And there it is, 13 to 12. Dave Fink now has the lead here. And it's hard to believe Dave was down 2 to 12.
13, 12.
2 to 12.
Now
But what's even harder to believe for me, I don't know why, is the reluctance to take the timeout.
I don't either.
I don't get it.
But here's
Side
what's going to be interesting. Will Dave now stall? Because that's another thing that's kind of somewhat happens. You got the guy catches up to you now.
Even if he does stall and Marcos was to get, say, hypothetically, the next 3 points to 15-13, the damage is nearly done. Like psychologically, Dave's like, okay, well, I've got 10 out of the last 13 points.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to feel like he's dominated, or that he has the momentum even.
Yeah, it seems like a race to
12,
to get to
13.
that 15th point, but after that, if it's close, it's anybody's game. So you lose some of that moral victory of getting to that 15th point. Now we're tied at 13 again.
13.
I like
Great
that little
shot.
quick whip that he has. Boy, Marcos ends up getting what he wanted there, but he just barely missed that ball
14,
sliding down that
13.
wall. Now this is half point,
Point.
and he gets
Halftime.
it going into halftime. So Fink then stalls at the end.
3 points that we spoke about.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. You know,
We'll
Kara was
resume at
able
15-13.
to sit down and talk with Dave Fink and actually get into the court with those junior players earlier in the tournament. You saw some of the college or the collegiate kids, we're calling them juniors, but you know, they're really young adults. Dave, Kara, and those and the younger generation of handball players, they got on the court with Shea, our cameraman. Let's go to that quick halftime report with Kara Mack.
There's a couple kinds of pass shots. There's something called a V pass, where the ball is going to hit the front wall, the side wall, and then the floor.
Junior clinics, they're something that you see every tournament, and they are so important because the WPH loves to spread the love of handball. Talk a little bit about these junior clinics, what you can see.
Well, we started the Raise for Aid Tour in 2011, and one of the key components of the tour was raising awareness and attracting new players to the sport. So the Raise for Aid gives us a great opportunity to promote the sport, to promote new players, and to teach new players some of the shots, and we're lucky to have the pros come into the court with the new players, college students, younger kids, and teach them these shots. So it's incredibly motivating for the youngsters, and hopefully it inspires them to keep playing and keep improving and play this sport for the rest of their lives.
And these youngsters love it because it is the top pros who they get to play with. You're the constant. You're always out there and you know how to manage all of them. But then you get a little trickle of each one coming through, each pro coming through and teaching something.
Right. I mean, just now we had Marcos Chavez stepping in the court. We've had Daniel Cordova, Killian Carroll, Luis Cordova, Paul Brady, Emmett Pachot. I mean, every one of the top pros has come into the court and volunteered their time. And they love doing it, and the kids and the new players love to see them in there. I mean, what a thrill to be able to share the court with guys like this. I mean, imagine going to the U.S. Open and having a serve lesson from Roger Federer, or learn how to hit a forehand like Novak Djokovic, and that's what the players at our race stops get to do. What a thrill.
Yeah, I mean, the handball, my kids love it because when we were in Portland, 2 or 3 years ago, Paul Brady and yourself taught them how to play, and they love it.
Right. I mean, I don't know that there's any other sport where you could get this close to the pros and actually learn from the pros. So, you know, we're lucky and we're very happy to be able to provide these clinics and opportunities.
The one takeaway you hope they all take?
I want them to just have fun. You know, I want them to play the sport for the rest of their lives and just enjoy it. Just enjoy everything about the game. The workout, the competition, the camaraderie, the ability to travel, the ability to make new friends, and the satisfaction you get, you know, from going in the court and just giving it your best.
So join us, right? Every tournament.
Every tournament, whatever tournament you can, come out and make it to the tournament. Come say hi to us.
Yeah.
All these events are just so much fun.
That's a great little piece there with Karamak and Dave Fink. You know, keeping Dave Fink on the court here, or, you know, keeping him here in the club. Let's go back to a quick interview we had with him where he's talking about the superpower that Marcos Chavez has. Let's go to that really quickly.
All right, to David Fink, not only do you have to show me your, oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna have you show me it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Fink, not only do you have to tell me your best shot, but you gotta show it off, all right?
I don't think I'm going to show it off.
Oh, come on, all right, but how do you do it? How do you master your best?
Well, I would say my best shot is probably my left hand into the left corner, either straight down the left wall or into the left corner, and that's just a shot that's always been my go-to shot since I started playing when I was 11 years old and started to really be able to play handball. And it's kind of a shot that when it's working, it's my best weapon. Sometimes the top guys start to anticipate it and sort of take it away from me, so it can also work against me.
Well, there it is. I like your second take on that, Kara. That was much better than the first one. Nothing like Dave Fink talking about Dave Fink.
Well,
we have Dave Fink talking about Marcos as well, and we're going to get that.
He mentioned his favorite shot, which definitely has been working there in the latter half of that first half. That corner kill into the left, he's beginning to find his groove.
So what would you feel now, as that was, Marcos had that big lead, then he lost it, and then Dave kind of stalled and Marcos went on and scored. Do you think Marcos feels better about that situation than being passed and not making it to the halftime at?
I think he should still be happy. The way I think he should be viewing it now is that it's, for him, it's a game to 10 and he's got a 2-point lead. You know, just go in there and play. But I think when you're in there, sometimes you feel like you've let a lead slip. That although he's at 15, I think he'll feel that he should have been at 15, but that Dave should have only been at
4 or 5, something like that. Yeah, maybe 8.
Whereas now 14, you're talking 15. 14, 15.
Point.
That's tough to miss that one.
Tied at 15.
15, 15. Screen ball. One screen. Side out. Fifteen, 15. Short. Second serve. Side out. Fifteen. Point.
3 quick points from Dave to go take the lead again at 16-15.
16-15.
Looking like 17. There it is.
I saw you move so fast for it, man. I thought you wanted it. No, I was giving you the shot. I thought you were winding up for it. I'm sorry. I missed
See,
a call.
this is my argument to this thing.
17-15.
The ref actually thinks it's a screen, but he's like, man, you know, I thought you moved real quick for it and you wanted it.
Right.
But it didn't work out good.
Point.
You know, so that's where I would say, give him the shot. It allows you not to have to make that call, like if you're not 100% sure. But then you realize, okay, it didn't work out, so you're like,
15.
pull it back.
Right, I get
one
that.
shot.
I totally
That's
get that.
just my take. I just think it makes life so much easier for a referee and player because everyone knows what's happening.
And my take on that is, again,
15-18.
that's why I say that should happen like that.
Wow.
But the referee
Side out.
shouldn't actually tell anybody. The referee should just do it like that, and we're not going to go public and tell everybody that's how we're doing it. That is an amazing shot, by the way. And Dave dives in and gets his
He was
reshot.
ready
Dave, 41 years of age, and Marcos 43. You got.
I see Dave grimacing there.
Well,
when
that
he
doesn't
hit the
feel
floor.
good.
And
That's one of those hip pointer type shots. Without knowing exactly what happened, that's my guess.
But five unanswered points from Dave, and serving. He looks like he's carried that momentum from late in the first half into the second half.
Marcos still down by 3, but if you think about it, he's only scored 3 to Dave Fink's 16.
Yes.
I mean, that's...
Since 12-2, you're saying?
Yeah.
18-15.
Jeez. Where did that come from? Marcos loads up on that shot.
$15, 18.
I think this is a big rally. And there it is, left-handed kill. Both players tired after that one.
There's that shot from Marcos. He just
took the
flips
pace off it.
First time out.
Just went up there and whipped it. Dave Fink and Kara Mack had a conversation. This is the one that we thought that they're going to talk about last time, where Kara pulls out some information about Dave regarding Marcos Chavez and that superpower that Marcos has. Let's go to that.
Now, I know Marcos has the giggle on his side, but what else does Marcos bring to the court? What's that one shot that people want to steal?
Well, Marcos varies his game better than anybody on the tour. He changes the speed of the ball more than anyone on the tour. He can play a slow game, then all of a sudden he can shift to a very hard ground and pound style. So you never quite know what to expect, and then there's always that element of psychological warfare when you're playing Marcos that adds to that varying speeds that he possesses.
Does he talk to you a little bit in your ear?
A lot of talking. It's not good-natured, although you might think it is from outside, but it isn't. And you know, he really forces you to just play your best and play the ball, because if you don't, he's got you where he wants you.
Oh.
Okay,
wow.
well, that's sending a little message.
That clarifies that.
It's good-natured, but it's really not. He wants you to think it's good-natured, but it's really not good-natured.
The question was, is he talking in your ear there? And he goes, oh, yeah, and it's not good-natured. So
yeah. He wants you to think it is, but it's not. Marcos and I are really close, by the way. Very, very close. It's funny because Dave and I work together. Marcos and I are very close.
17, 18.
Yet, I see all the great stuff in Marcos, and I see all the good stuff in Dave.
Point.
And I had the same problem with Nadi Alvarado. He and I are best friends.
18.
Very close, Nadi and I, but Marcos and Nadi don't get along, but I'm really close with Marcos as well. So it's a strange thing, because I see that both of these guys, if they understood each other, they totally love each other, but they don't understand each other. And it's frustrating from that, you know, the reverse triangle position of saying, you know, you're always playing the mediator between the two. He goes, you know, that's not how we meant it.
Okay.
You know, you're always that guy because you're wanting to draw these guys closer. And I see that they are technically closer, but it's strange because they have these moments on the court where you can't judge their friendship based off of the results here, off of this gamesmanship that goes back and forth. And now Marcos, for some reason, is able to score these points. But
well, it's kind of to and fro, and there's a bit of little streaks from both players. Dave went from 13-15 to down to 18-15 up. Now it's 19-18 to Marcos with a nice dive there that just flipped up in the air, and Dave tracked it in, but it just died in the left corner.
18.
Yeah, it's so strange, honestly.
There's the 20th.
20, 18.
An uncharacteristic miss from Dave there. It's like it was that hard 2-all serve that Sean was hitting yesterday, and he just totally got handcuffed.
21-18.
Now 6 unanswered points from Marcos at a crucial time.
Side out.
You know, a lot of this, you know, you start talking about it out loud and you start thinking to yourself, this sounds a lot like you're in 8th grade.
18-21.
You know, it sounds like this guy doesn't like, he's not popular and we want to be friends, but we can't be, you know, that sort of thing. But
good get.
Watch Dave make that incredible get there. Oh, and just misses
Side
that
out.
corner kill. Side out. But you see sitting front row here is Sean Linning. And Sean Linning is sort of that superpower for Marcos. They're best friends. And Dave
21,
comes back and
18.
sees that they're having that conversation. And Dave, you know, I don't think that affects him in the most positive of ways.
Short.
I don't know if you've ever played opponents that were affected by people that you were friends with, but it's just, it's a weird.
Second serve.
No, I don't think that's affected me before, but
yeah, it's strange to even say it out loud, but that's.
What a get.
Uh-oh. Not sure what this is.
Did the ankle twist?
I don't.
It's
not there.
side out.
I'm just wondering here.
Yeah, it's just a real quick.
I think he's okay though, is he?
Well, he will be. Yeah, that was a quick.
He's up. He's arguing.
He has
him.
the right to his follow through. You bumped into him like when he was still following through.
Maybe so.
I'm not sure if Marcos was going to get that ball. But it's hard to doubt a player when both players are making incredible gets as well. But we'll see it here. He gets that one. This is what we're wondering here now.
Let's play ball. 18-21.
Didn't see anything wrong with that. Chance for Dave.
Point.
It was a huge hop there off that back wall. Actually off the ground, but then when it hit the back wall, it just targeted.
19-21.
Are you in a position to put your money somewhere yet?
Nope. Nope. I'm going to lose no matter what happens.
21.
Well, that's
19.
good for me then.
I told you there was a triangle here. These guys
Short.
watch all these matches back.
Second serve.
I felt before the match started, to be honest, that Dave Fink was going to go in there and send a message. But as before the match started, or I've already made the decision that Dave was going to go in there, I just had the feeling all of these people are coming over saying, just wait till you see what Marcos is going to do in there. I mean, so this is all of his buddies coming to me to say, you're not going to believe what you're going to see next, you know. And I thought, well,
23,
we've kind of seen a bit of everything from both
2 points
players.
away.
He kind of put the head to the right
out.
there, trying to fool Dave, went left, but
Well, he's 2 points away from defeating him 2 straight matches.
19-23.
it's a good serve.
This is actually a big match for Marcos because he wants to pass. He wants to be an Elite 8 invite.
Point.
So something like this win right here could actually propel him into the Elite 8 because Vic
And
Perez,
who
Vic Perez is the one he's looking after.
20-23.
And Vic's in the same boat that he's in. He has to win his match, and I believe they're next.
with Emmett.
Second serve.
Right.
That was a revolving door. Marcos decided to go left. Kill.
First time out.
You're actually going to be playing in the 9th place playoff, I believe it's tomorrow, against the guy that looks like a tall version of you.
2 minutes.
Well,
I know you've probably not looked at it like that.
6'9". Dave Fink
Feels
tells me
like
he's the tallest handballer ever.
He's 6'9", but it's sort of like 7 feet.
your shirt too, Marcos?
Marcos Chavez here.
Referee asking him to change his shirt.
Marcos shaking his head as if he's saying no, but
I'm not hitting the floor that much, he's saying, but
no, he'll change it. He knows he has to. Do I have to? Marcos Chavez here trying to win this one-game playoff match here for 5th place for the 5th place final. There's a lot of ranking points. You know, you look down at the end of the season rankings and you see some of these players separated by a half a point. It comes down to matches like this. This is more than a half a point that you're going to get over your opponent. You make it to the 5th place playoffs, you're going to get more points than if you get stalled there in the semifinals. Marcos serving here with 2 points to go to take this one-game match to 25.
23-20.
See what he does here with this serve.
it's a good one. I think Dave's expecting that to come straight onto his left hand, and it just clipped the wall.
Nice dig right there.
Point.
Wow. Dave's going to ask for the towel here. That was a good shot from Marcos. I thought Dave had a great get.
Such a great shot, the corner kill, when it's executed properly. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Even if you get it, you're kind of on an extreme side of the court, and we saw some nice shots from Marcos earlier. Even if David got that, I could see him hitting a nice punch down the right.
Yeah, he buckled Dave's knees there. When he hit that ball to the right corner, Dave felt that he was going to go down the right wall. That's kind of Marcos' thing, where he hits this ball down the wall. Dave took that jab step to the right, and then it goes to the corner. Dave had to come back, and he just missed it. Here it is, match point.
Goes to the roof. Wow.
And he does it. Marcos takes down Dave Fink, and this time there is a quick handshake. So there's no controversy on the handshake, as if...
What a shot by Marcos. Is this a fist?
Yes,
it is. That's the Luis Cordova one from earlier.
Fink was right on top of that, too, and Marcos quickly turning around here to shake hands with Dave Fink, because if you don't shake it quick enough. Let's go to the court one more time here and catch Kara Mack courtside with our champion.
I caught you earlier this tournament and asked you if you could beat anyone. Who's your favorite person there on the court? And you said Fink, so this has got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, at this time, senior race for 8, senior tour, whatever it is. Yeah. It's him and I, so to get a win over him is pretty sweet, yeah.
What feels so great about it?
You know, the guy's younger than me. He's supposed to be winning. He's not, so I love that part of it. But, you know, he's a good guy, and I'm enjoying playing with him. We didn't have any issues on the court, and I love that, and just trying to change my attitude around. And it's just nice to win right now, and to win one at home, because I told my wife that I was playing in the morning and I lose to Killian Carroll. So I sent her a message, and then, hey, you know, I'm playing again, so I hope I wasn't going to lose twice in a row and have my daughter see that. That's no bueno. No bueno.
But yeah, coming off that match this morning, it's got to feel pretty good. I also wore the heels for your wife, so she is watching. There you go. Yes, you said that before. I'm like, wait a second. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you very much.
What was working really well for you that you're going to carry on with this one?
I've been going to my coach's serve, like Vince Munoz. Get in the service box, shuffle the ball, put it to one hand to the other, and then serve it down the right, left, wherever it is. And it's really been working for me and getting my momentum and my hips into the serve. So thank you, Vince. Love you, buddy.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kara Mack. We're going to take I don't know, maybe a 10-minute break or less, and then get the next one on, which is going to be Vic Perez and Emmett Pichot. They've already been warming up, so it might not be as long as it seems when it comes to that warm-up, but the second 5th place semifinal match is going to be here on ESPN3, the Watch ESPN app, as the Race for 8 continues in Atlanta, Georgia. I want to thank our broadcast crew of Chris Garrad, Linda Manning, Shay Lowenstein, as well as Kara Mack, and my partner for that match there, Martin Mulkerns. My name is Dave Vincent. We have more of the World Players of Handball's continued coverage of this ESPN3 Handball Tournament in Atlanta, Georgia, as the race for 8 will continue next. Stick with us.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay, but remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. And I appreciated it very much, the attention that was given. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.